guys. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you as we strike into Tuesday morning, January 21st, 2025. This is actually Monday's night's show, but I always promise to get these out before I do put my head on the pillow. So, welcome everyone to Inspirations for Your Life. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe you want to grab something great from the kitchen, feel free to do that. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right. So, our master topic, ladies and gentlemen, in case you are wondering, is a very good one. It's mastering the art of resourcefulness, unlocking creative solutions. We're on, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are in, I cannot believe this. We are in, yes, we are in the fourth year. So, this is series 4, and we are on show basically number 4. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is episode number 3. So our granular topic for tonight, which, I always tell you about those. It's a really good topic, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight is one I think you're probably going to appreciate because it probably speaks to a lot of people, and it's conquer any challenge, break it down to manageable steps. Welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life. And I welcome you here. I am your host, the dynamic John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast coach, and podcast host, and of course, motivational powerhouse. This podcast is your ultimate guide to unlocking your potential and achieving your goals. Today's episode focuses on a powerful strategy, breaking challenges into manageable steps. Life's biggest obstacles can often feel overwhelming, but my understanding for you is to help you dissect them into manageable, actionable parts. You'll gain clarity, confidence, and of course, momentum to achieve greatness, whether you're an aspiring leader, a dreamer, chasing ambitious goals, or simply navigating everyday hurdles. This helps us by understanding the steps so that you can empower yourself to turn challenges into stepping stones for success. So let's just go ahead and dive right in, all right, and tackle these challenges together. And we're going to take them step by step, or what I like to say tonight is step by step breakdown. So, welcome everyone, like I said again, to Inspirations for Your Life. I do want to let you guys know of a new feature that we've actually launched in one of my other companies, the J Moore Connection. We thought there was a purpose and a need to get more humor into the world. So that's exactly what we did starting just actually today. We launched this brand new episode, series, I should say. It's not live, they're all recordings, but there's some really cool videos, and it's called J Moore Tech Bite-Sized Blunders, where you can laugh and learn about all types of things that happen in technology, right? It's always fun to laugh about them as long as it's not us. But seriously, it's fun to laugh at them too when we realize that, oh, was I doing that and it wasn't plugged in? Or the person that, says that, they call for support and they ask them to turn on the computer and they said, well, I can't turn it on. Well, why not? Well, did you check the plug? Well, I can't get back there. It's very dark. Well, what's wrong? Well, we've got a complete power outage. Well, of course, your computer's not going to work if there's no power. I mean, so those are just some. Usually, we put about maybe 4 to 5, and they're funny. So hopefully, you'll enjoy the short little video. They're usually a minute. You can find them by visiting jmore.com, but we'll have a link to them, by the way, on our link here very soon because I think they're going to be really, really cool. All right, everyone. So number one, the point I want to talk about is start with clarity. Clarity is that bedrock of overcoming any challenge. Begin by thoroughly understanding the issue you're facing and what success looks like. Write down your goal or promises in specific terms, avoiding vague aspirations. For example, instead of saying, I want to improve my career, define it as, I want to secure a management role within 6 weeks. Clear objectives, provide direction, and eliminate unnecessary distractions, setting the stage for focused and effective efforts. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, will procrastinate. I mean, that's going to happen. And so I think a lot of people don't really understand what that is. And I know that you're probably saying to me, John, this is a little bit crazy, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. See, when we get serious about what we want in life, things change for us. All right. Things definitely change for us. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this does not happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. So when we know what we want, we can go get it, right? But if we don't know what we want, we're always going to be like, well, how do I get there? Like, you ever got in the car and maybe you have a GPS and it's like, well, how do I get to that destination? Well, I know it's somewhere on this road. I think it's the third right, or was it the third left? I can't remember. So if you don't even know where you're going, how are you ever going to do anything? Like, how is anything ever going to work for you? And I think that's a really, really serious problem for a lot of people. All right. So when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you've got to know what you want, got to be very clear about that. All right. Number two, divide the challenge into smaller parts. I can give you a couple examples of this. So, one, if you like algebra, some may not. There is something which we've learned many years ago is the little mnemonic. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So first, you would do what's in the parentheses, right? Then you would do what's the exponents. Then you would do the multiplication. Um, then you would do the division. Then you would do the addition. And then lastly, you would do the subtraction. And that's how you do it. And you break that whole equation down into those steps. But this also can be something you're doing in your life. I mean, this happens to me when I'm creating videos all the time. I can't create a masterpiece like one, two, three. So I have to figure out like a storyboard. I have to figure out, well, like, how am I going to make somebody laugh like with these new things that we're doing? How am I going to do that? How am I going to really arouse curiosity? How am I going to get people to really enjoy what I'm doing? How am I going to do that? So it becomes like a little bit of a fun game, right? So you divide the challenge into smaller pieces. Okay. And so, it's an important thing to do because, like I said to you, it makes the task a lot easier, more approachable. And by doing the smaller tasks, we build our confidence. Okay. And we can remember that progress is built incrementally, and small wins lay the foundation for larger success. So if we can do that, then I think we have some good, solid, let's say, stepping stones to move forward with. Okay. We have some good, solid stones that we can move forward with. But if we don't understand that, then how do we ever move forward? Um, and I think the way we move forward is by understanding that we have to get some inertia going, right? How does that happen? And I think that happens by us realizing that it's about, the fact that we have all this potential in our life, right? Potential is so unlimited. So definitely do that. And you're going to find life is easier for you. Number three, set clear, achievable milestones. So, a milestone. If you're doing a software project, that might be one phase. If you're doing a home, same thing. Could be one part of the construction. A lot of times when you're doing construction, certain deposits are due when certain milestones are complete, right? Maybe you're doing a project and there's 10 parts to it. So maybe uh, it's basically the initial deposits done, and then 1/10 of that balance is due at the completion of the first milestone, and etc. The second tenth, and all the way up to the final tenth, which you don't give until after the inspection has been completed and it passes. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about. And so if we understand what a milestone is, and milestones are like checkpoints that measure our progress. We can assign deadlines to each smaller task to keep yourself on track. For instance, if you prepare for a marathon, milestones could include running a specific distance by a certain date or mastering your pace in practice sessions. Celebrating these milestones keeps you motivated and reinforces your commitment to the larger promise or goal. Now, that sounds like something that's really like crazy, but I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not. Everyone that wants to achieve everything overnight is going to get disappointed. And the reason is because they're not going to be able to do anything. So you've got to start small. And then those small wins can be celebrated so that you can bank them for something big. How many of them are going to the boardwalk, right? And maybe there's this really big teddy bear or this big prize that you want. But the way they do this, a lot of the boardwalks, is they don't give you the big prize. You have to have two smalls to get a medium, and then three smalls to get, or no, it was even more than that, I think. A lot of times it's one small to get to. You have to get usually like three smalls to get a medium, and it might be four or six smalls to get a large, or it might be something like two mediums or something like that. So they do that so you keep spending money, right? And so I bring this to your attention because that one little, let's say, tiny fish or whatever you picked doesn't seem like much. But if you get, let's say, maybe four, six of them, you can get a medium. And then if you actually get two of those, two mediums, you could probably get a large. So that's 12. So these small things, they add up in our life. And so just like, you prepare for a marathon, you prepare for your success and you celebrate your wins. You celebrate where you are. Number 4, prioritize your tasks. Sometimes, this can happen a lot in companies that are mismanaged. They give you all these things, but then there's never a priority. I know in one of the companies I own, which is the media marketing, advertising, and printing company, we get things in all the time, but we have to make sure that we're staying true to what we need to get done now. If we don't, then we're going to waste our resources. And by resources, I mean things like our equipment, our staff, right? And we're going to waste that. And so that's important that we not do that. So not all tasks carry equal weight. So the prioritization is essential. Identify the tasks that are most impactful or time sensitive and tackle them first. A clear prioritization strategy prevents you from wasting time on less critical activities. Using methods like Eisenhower's matrix or simply ranking tasks by urgency and importance can bring clarity to your workload and ensure steady progress. But again, you have to be consistent with how you do this. If you are not consistent, well, then that can be a major, 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 major problem. So that is very, very important. And hopefully you'll understand that. So I think if you understand that, maybe you'll understand that it's a choice that you make. And with these choices that you make, hopefully you'll be able to figure out like where you can go, where you have to go. And you might be saying to me, John, I don't have a clear understanding of what I want. And so that's okay. But if you don't have a clear understanding of what you want, then you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there because if you don't know what you want, then you will never get what you want. You got to be clear about it. All right. I think that's a very, very important thing for everyone. All right. So when you learn how to prioritize, you use the right methods, you can change prioritization, but you set your prioritization based on things like what's needed first, what's going to be the least cost or the most cost effective to do first, right? Things like that. That's pretty much how it works. All right. We are up to we're up to number 5. Embrace flexibility. Life is unpredictable. and challenges often require adjustments along the way. So be prepared to pivot your plans as new obstacles or opportunities arise. Flexibility allows you to adapt without losing sight of your overarching goal. Approach um, change with an open mind and a willingness to experiment with different strategies, ensuring that unforeseen setbacks don't derail your progress. So, when we understand that something could derail us, um, then hopefully that makes some information easier for you. Okay. Hopefully. But I know that it can get confusing, right? Because if you don't understand what that is, okay, and you don't understand that things are not always going to be the way you expect them, you might get a different way to do something. So we have to adapt without losing sight of where we're going. And that's not always an easy thing, ladies and gentlemen, because let's face it, everyone wants to get where they want to be, but sometimes they don't know how to be where they want to be. And that can be like, I don't know, that can just be like nuts. All right. That could be nuts. So, what I want to share with you is that when you make the choice to embrace flexibility, you understand that something might come up and you might need to move something around. It could be like today we had a bad snowstorm. So you had to be flexible, right? Because hey, we might have to change some appointments because the roads weren't good, right? Um, when I create different media, like today, I was working on the next set of let's call it blunders for the following week. I'm always working on one a week. So this one just released, which I worked on last week, and the one I just finished, which usually have done by Friday, will release on the last week of the month. And so I come up with the storyboard, what it's going to be, how people are going to laugh. I try to take something that would seem very obvious. And then when all these people have made these mistakes, like, well, wait a minute. And then I try to make it fun. Okay. So the fun part is like one thing you should talk about what it is. And then I imply something else. Like, for example, we had this thing where I said to somebody that, if your laptop seems like it's overheating because you think it's cooking your dinner, well, I assure you it's not. It actually just needs to be well ventilated. So again, something like that is comical, but hopefully it gets you to learn. So we call it our Laugh and Learn series. Tech Bite Blunders, Laugh and Learn. All right, number 6, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to stay focused. Avoid multitasking. So we all want to multitask, but when we choose to do one task at a time, it works better. We're not computers, right? We're not trying to time slice. And I'm not going to get into that on this show, but we're not time slicing. We're not trying to like, if we have, let's say, 20 seconds, we're not trying to divide that among, let's say, 4 different processes and just kind of round robin. We're not trying to do that. When we do that, we get worn out and then we find out we're not very effective. That's why it's important to take breaks. So stay focused, avoid multitasking because it can dilute your efforts and reduce the quality of your results. Instead, commit to focusing on one task at a time. Single tasking enhances productivity and helps you deliver your best work. If distractions are unavoidable, create a dedicated workspace and establish routines to help you stay on track. By channeling your energy into one task, you'll complete it faster and with greater precision. I think that's an important thing to understand. So, multitasking might seem great on the surface, but what it really does is it affects our ability to pay attention. All right. Number 7, seek support and the resources you need. Don't hesitate to reach out for help when facing challenges, whether it's advice from a mentor, assistance from a colleague, or access to tools and materials. External support can ease your burden. I know with starting my master's study, it's a lot of information. We're doing like in this one course, I think we're doing like 4 chapters in just a few months. Now, that doesn't seem so bad, but each chapter has like 26 sections in it. And that's roughly around 5 or 6 pages. Not a big deal, but those are not just pages you read. One or two are pages you read, and the rest of it's math problems that you have to solve. Now, they require a little logic, a little thinking, so you have to kind of think a little outside the box, and it's not the way you're used to thinking. I have to tell you one thing, when I got back into this and I haven't been doing like coding for a long time, a lot of what I learned started coming back. I'm like, "Oh, I get this now." Like, it just made sense. So that was really, really cool. Um, when you surround yourself with supportive network of people and resources, not only does it provide practical solutions, but also boost your confidence and morale. Remember, collaboration can amplify your capabilities and lead to better outcomes. So, why not start seeking support and the resources that you know you need? Number 8, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 is important. Maintain a positive mindset. You hear me talking about positivity at least 100 times a Sunday, right? How many times do I talk about being positive? I would say I talk about that so much because it is the key, ladies and gentlemen, to having the life that you've always wanted. All right. When we think about a positive mindset, this determines how you approach and overcome obstacles. Cultivate positivity by focusing on the possibilities rather than the limitations. Practice affirmations, belief statements, reflect on past achievements, and stay hopeful about future outcomes. That's important. A positive outlook fuels resilience and keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow or sometimes uncertain. Number 9, review and reflect. Review and reflect is a good way of checking in with yourself to see, well, where are you, on the road of your progress. Consistently evaluate your progress, and this is very critical for staying on track. So take time to review what's working and identify areas for improvement. Reflect not only helps you to refine your approach, but deepens your understanding of the challenge. By learning from your experiences, you become better equipped to tackle future obstacles with confidence. All right. So let's talk about number 10. Number 10 is commitment is the glue that holds your efforts together. Challenges are going to test your resolve, but staying dedicated to your goal ensures you push through difficulties. Remind yourself why you started and visualize the end result. For example, with myself with the master's. I started my master's so I can get my PhD, but I started my master's because I want to get that degree. And I want to get that degree because I'm very passionate about increasing my ability in the field and becoming more seen as an expert. As you know, I do keynotes and going all the way up the ladder to my PhD and getting my AI PhD. So, very important to me. Um, I know there's going to be some bumps in the road, but that's okay. There'll be support if I have questions. And I know that I'm going to get through it. Just a little nerve wracking because, again, when I look at that, there's only like 50 classes and there's like 4 chapters and there's 26 roughly per section. And you got basically four chapters, ladies and gentlemen. That's that's a lot, right? 26 times 4, ladies and gentlemen, that's 104. If you divide 104 by 50, it breaks down to be about 2 sections a class. So, the thing is, when you have an understanding of where you want to go and something gets in your way, don't let it. Just figure out another way around because you can do it. So now that you know that commitment is that key, commitment is that magical glue that will just help you do whatever it is you want to do. But sometimes, it can get challenging. It can get very, very challenging. And these challenges, I will tell you, are going to sometimes make it hard. And the reason they make it hard is a simple reason. It's because people don't get it. They don't get that our brain is made of neuroplasticity, meaning that we can change our brain. We can change where we are in life by our beliefs. Now, changing your belief for one day is going to do diddly squat. You have to keep doing it over and over again. And as you do that, your life will change. I promise you that. How many of you have ever gone to the gym? If you go to the gym and you work out, do it for 1 or 2 days, no big deal. But you start doing it for 2 or 3 weeks, your body's like, oh, I want to keep going to the gym. No matter what, I want to keep going to the gym, right? And you almost feel like guilty if you didn't go to the gym or if you didn't do like your weights or your lifts or whatever it was, right? You feel guilty. So I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't need to feel guilty. You just need to keep yourself in check by reflecting. And when you reflect on things, the magic of life is able to transform your beliefs into what we call reality. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening and check out believemeachieve.com.